Hey everybody, welcome to Comic Industry Insiders Live, our little pre-show banter. This is what we do just before we go officially live at 2 o'clock. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we get on to talk about the stuff that's happening in comics that week. And since I don't want to have to fill this time because I have to fill that time, I'm going to bring some people in here, shall I? Let's start with my partner nearly every day in crime, Miss Megan Marsden. Hey, Megan, how are you?
Hi, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent. We haven't worked you too hard today. That's good. All right. Next up, a man who had way more stories about beating people up than I thought when we got this ball rolling, producer Kyle.
Hey, I've been 6'2", 300 pounds my whole life. I've been in fights since then.
I won't tell the story that got that storyboard rolling. Catch me later. Catch me in person.
Pitch him literally outside.
All right, now that we've covered this, let's start bringing in the rest of the baldies. First up, not quite bald, Mr. Django Boren.
It's soon. I'm working on it.
What though? You lean all the way into what's left, and I appreciate that about you.
Last hurrah, man. That's all I got. Give it a year.
Our MBA professor for the week, Mr. Keith Davidsen.
Hi, welcome to myself. I don't know why I said welcome. I'm so used to hosting, I guess.
I feel welcome, and I appreciate you for that. Let's see. Let's go with our co-host, Mr. Brian Garside. Hi, buddy.
Hey, it's me. How's it going?
Good. Should have used elbows out. Apparently, that's the lesson I learned this week.
Elbows up.
Elbows up. Oh, there we go. And finally, the man who we torture once a week. That we don't actually do this for the audience. We don't really do it for the money. We do it so that we can give Blake Morgan a hard time. How you doing, Blake?
What's up? Buzz. Oh, wait, wrong show. Hi, everybody.
So we were just discussing, man, we're getting towards the end of the year and everything kind of quiets down. We're like, what are we going to talk about? Of course, there's still plenty to talk about, but yeah.
I kind of like it, though, because as freelance, I know lots of us are freelancers or running your own company or whatever, right? Like, you don't get days off in those times anymore, but other than Brian's very busy this holiday season, but I mean, it's been kind of, I should quit talking. I'm jinxing our whole team right now.
Get worse.
It's been a pleasant start to the holiday season, I guess.
You don't say this. This is how we get doomed.
All I hear is that Blake needs more work. That's all I heard right there.
I'm knocking on wood for everyone right now.
Salt and throw it over the shoulder afterwards.
Hey, Marvin, welcome aboard. Marvin, one of the few people, he actually sent us a comment at one point, one of his shows. I couldn't make it this week. He's such a viewer for us. What I'm looking for. I don't know. He's a regular. So, Keith, have you ever been in a bar
talk? A regular is a good word for that. Like a comic industry insider's regular.
No, we're not going there right now.
Adam, you keep coming back to the idea that we need a word for comic retailers that are
for people who work people who work the counter at comic shops, right?
Right. Yeah. Sorry,
comic shop employee.
Yeah, and everybody jumps on sommelier immediately.
Sure,
not quite there.
Oh, Brian had a good one.
Has book tender come up yet?
It has.
Okay.
Yeah.
It has.
Probably right after sommelier. Forget. I'll see you guys later.
For me,
no, it's fine.
Mashes two English words. Doesn't feel quite right. Like it just feels like it's I don't know. It's cheap. It's gonna sound cheap to me. I mean, I don't. No offense to you, but I mean,
an English and a foreign word mashed together.
Maybe. What was it?
Or a Latin.
You had
Ducero. Ducero was a good one.
Ducero.
Yes. Ducere, is that right? Ducere
is the Latin of to guide.
Oh.
See, that sounds like a word that Bruce Springsteen's going to mispronounce in the song, and then everybody's going to think it's Ducero forever. Like,
great.
Great.
And work the radio.
Hey, Kyle. There's Kyle pooping on my Kellogg's again.
I like it, but I just know that at some point Bruce Springsteen's going to mispronounce it, and then Manfred Mann's going to have to explain it for the rest of his life.
It did sound bad wordish. I thought.
That's what makes it good. It's got to sound a little bit dangerous.
What does it sound like?
Deuce.
Deuce.
Yeah, deuce.
Oh, why did we get? What is up with the
number 2?
We're on this show.
This shows the maturity
It's
level
about
of
books and
everybody on
reading.
this show.
What
We're
do
like,
you do?
poop.
I do
I like
tons of reading on the toilet. I
The
don't know about you
one
guys.
I liked was Harista. It's like hero, barista, harista. Oh, that was cool.
That sounds like something I'm going to order at like a food truck. I would like the harista.
See, I thought it sounded like an expensive barber.
So in high school, my buddy and I decided that we were going to make bucket and pail things. So we used bucket as like a slur. It would be just like a bucket, right? And then pail was just like, oh, that's pale, man. That's real pale. That's real pale. And we like nobody else even tried. So we exclusively did it. And my victory was when my mom got mad at me because I said bucket about something. And I was like, yes, she's angry because I swore. Yes, victory. So I'm just going to start using harista. How are your haristas today? Oh, excellent.
Brian?
I don't know. My Deuceros, though. I got a great staff of Deuceros. Sales are up.
You got a good group of Deuceros? All right.
That's right.
Let's do it.
Got, 2 of them. Deuceros.
Apparently, I've been saying "be the change you want to see" too much lately, and my wife criticized me about it this weekend. So, be the change you want to see here. Just do it.
Be the change you want to see. Be the bucket you want to fill.
That's right.
Party on.
I was at a party. This is such a I was at the party on Friday, and I said there's a story that I tell often to talk about how teams really kind of coalesce and they become indistinguishable. Like they just, as a team, they become the thing. And it's about, the Beatles, how somebody was, I think it was the producer was telling about how, Ringo comes in and he's not yet the Beatles, and then George comes in and it's not there. It's not until all 4 of them are there, right? You do the whole kind of story. And then you say, and then suddenly the Beatles are there. And so that same way with teams. And the guy's birthday it was, his wife just really is not having any of it. She goes, people pay you for that? I was like, yeah, a lot. She goes, I had to get into this. I said, yeah, but no benefits. She goes, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
And somewhere Pete Best fits into that puzzle.
No, he didn't fit. That's the point. Yes. Exactly, Dirk. The smartest person in the room is the room. Well, somebody else clicked it. There you go. Yeah. Hashtag Dirk Manning. Is that what we're looking at now? Do we have a hashtag for him? We're going to be talking about Dirk. Oh, it gets an at there. We're going to be talking about Dirk and a big announcement later in the show. This is actually going to be a jam-packed one, so I'm really looking forward to talking about this. And we cannot go over because Brian's out is hard.
It's a hard out, guys. It's a very hard out.
That's right. I just want to make sure everybody knows that going in, that we are not going over this week. We have meetings. Keith, I'm looking at you.
I'll try.
Awesome. Did any of you buy the $9 million Superman one? Was anybody here? Just curious.
I tried.
No. Yeah. Did you bid?
Yep.
Did you sneak in there when it was like at $1?
No, they wouldn't even let me in the room. The room was too smart.
The room was too smart.
Wow. Thank you very much.
I did just win a shadow drawing from Howard Chaykin from the 80s series. The shadow's not on it, but all of his gun sound effects are on there. So I'll take it.
That's fair.
Well, and I don't know if it was the exact same day or if it was just the same auction. The Neil Adams Weird Left Leg Superman cover art sold for $1.7 million. Wow. It's the one where the left leg is like really long and the right leg looks a little stubby, but he had to do it so that the font would fit in between Superman's legs for the cover. Like, it's real strange. And he complained about it for the rest of his life. But it's real iconic.
Oh, The Adventures of Superman. That's not number 1, is it? With him breaking
I don't know.
the
I just
chains?
know it as the weird legged one.
Nice.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I never
That
noticed
is really
that.
Huh.
Yeah, New Adventures of Superman number 1. It's 283. Superman 283.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there's some apparently a reproduction that fixes the
Right.
lens, but
That's
the original
funny.
one definitely looks a little. Woo.
You can't really tell it when you see this, but when you see that image, you're like, oh yeah, that's wonky.
I was about to say he's too hard on himself.
That's amazing.
All right, so as long as we're talking about original art, does anybody ever clean up their office and find something and never know where it came from?
Yeah.
Oh.
Found this piece of Brian Michael. What's upside down?
An upside down Brian Michael Bendis art?
This page. I have no idea what this page is. Right, but it's Bendis, so there's a whole lot of like zip tone. And
That's awesome.
on the back is this Superman, Green Lantern, not Hal Jordan,
What?
Guy Gardner. I don't know why it's on the back of this.
Wow.
Maybe he didn't have any original art pages, so he just like used somebody else's art. Can you imagine?
Yeah. Wow.
That's insane.
Jeremy apparently knows what it is.
Is it from what was Noir Books? Huh. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know where this came from. I don't know when I bought it. I don't know. It was just here in the office. So if anybody is watching this and can help me identify it and find out from Brian why it is he was drawing on the back of somebody else's artboard, I'd appreciate it.
I wonder if it was like a sample page that he had made and then just that's wild. That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It's signed, but there's no indicator of what page it's from. I think it is. I think Jeremy's right. I think it was early because I remember this doesn't look like some of his like Goldfish and later stuff, but couldn't be. Yeah, Jeremy, I can't remember either. Let me know. It looks vaguely familiar because I was such a huge fan of his before he blew up and then kind of stepped away. So yeah. Anyway. All right, we got 2 more minutes. Anybody else have any riveting stories they want from their week that they wanted to tell in the next 2 minutes in the way that'll get me worried that we'll run out of time? It's usually Brian's cue.
No, I'm good. I'm not gonna say anything. I can take a hint.
Oh,
Brian has a heart out, so I'm not going to add anything to the conversation at this point
That's
either.
right.
Just to preserve Brian's heart out.
Oh, Kyle, I think that thing is because I don't have a orientation set. That's wild. I said it. That's weird.
Although you
usually
shouldn't
set
have to for
those-
Facebook.
You wouldn't think so.
Yeah, but I usually set those when I make the stream. Shout out to StreamYard for doing a great job.
Thanks, StreamYard.
Hey, so they added multi-aspect ratio streaming, and it's really great if you're one person looking into a camera just talking. It's really crap for everything else.
Yep.
All right. Well, Jeremy, I tend to agree that Torso I think was too late. This feels earlier than that. All right, we'll dive in. All
I've
right.
never read any of his
Screenshot
old
and
stuff.
share it in the
I-
Kelly Sue Tonic Discord. Bendis is always in there.
It's 2:00. Hit the button.
Here we go.
Thanks, guys. It's 2:00 on Tuesday afternoon. Your boxes are open. You're really desperately trying to get set up, but you also are having a real hard time with the fact that why am I suddenly looking at the vertical view? Don't know.
Django.
Thank you. Hide vertical view. Okay, very good. Anyway, it's 2:00. It's Tuesday. It's Comic Industry Insiders. We really have no idea how this is coming together this week, but it's going to be a good one. We have so much to talk about this week. And so to bring in Mr. Hard Out himself, Mr. Brian Garside.
The king of the hard outs. That's how I want to be known now.
The king of the hard outs.
Yeah, king of the hard out. Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. I'm just so important right now that I got so many meetings that I just gotta leave at 3 for a meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Heard.
It's not that I stupidly forgot to block time off today. No, that's nothing to do with it. It's that I just don't.
Yeah.
So,
I've had weeks like that. I know exactly how that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're super busy here this week, right?
It's been fun. Yeah, we launched some stuff last weekend on Friday, and then I promptly went away. And it turns out that Shopify also changed some things over the weekend, and I was away. So those things got fixed Sunday night / yesterday morning.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I hear that's a real pro move, is dropping new code and then going away for the weekend.
I highly recommend. Well, to be fair,
we call that a comic suite.
Yeah, right. We tested the crap out of it, and it was not that code that was the problem. It was actually something entirely new. So yeah.
Well, congratulations. You found another new problem.
Yep. I find that Shopify is just wonderful partners, and I have nothing ill to say about them, so I won't.
Indeed. We have so much to talk about this week.
So much, dude.
We crammed full. We wanted to do an episode that would try and make metadata sexy, because, as a crew, we think about this a lot. We know how important it is, and trying to communicate to people just how important it is and how possible it is for everybody to do it right it's a challenge for us on a day-to-day basis. So we decided we're going to go once more into the fray and do our best to actually connect to the fact that metadata done right means more money for everybody. Right? Am I wrong about
data,
that?
mo money. That's what they say. That's how that song goes.
But first, let me talk about something that's really up on the front of my mind. Comics the Magazine. This is a monthly magazine that's going to be coming out starting in March. It is going to be in comic shops. It'll be priced in such a way as comic shops can even choose to give it to you for free. But it'll be available to you. It's going to have so much about comics. It's going to have so much about the energy of comics. It's going to have so much about the art form and the market around it and all the things that we love about comics. Go to this website right now, sign up for the newsletter, and we will let you know when things are coming up. This week, we got a cover that I think we're all agreeing on that we're taking to a publisher for actual approvals.
Ooh.
Yeah. Once getting clearances is new for me. That's a new one. Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
Moving along. If we can get the one we want, it's going to be so good.
Nice.
Pardon the dog. What's happening over there? Is this the thing you were dropping?
Oh my gosh. So people should go to get comic previews right now, because it goes to comic previews. So comic previews is in a beta right now, but it is looking fancier and fancier all the time. And we're getting to a point where we're going to have user accounts in the next couple of weeks. And then we will be adding, we're really actually kind of fine tuning the data that's being presented. Like today, I noticed that new this week is actually showing next week. So got to kind of tweak that a little bit. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with the direction we're going. And yeah, this thing is going to be live in a couple of weeks with customers creating pull lists. And oh my goodness, so much stuff.
You're going to get into some of that, right? So, because so much of the metadata we're talking about is going to be what brings value to systems like this, right?
Yeah, for sure. And this helps to kind of describe why changing that value metadata can be bad in the long term.
True. All right. So this is what we're getting into this week. We have a whole bunch of shout outs. Many of you are doing Black Friday sales. We want to make sure that every platform we use to hit that hard and let everybody know. We have a few of our favorite headlines for the last week, even though things are slowing down a little bit and everybody's getting a little quieter towards the end of the year. We found a few things to talk about. Our big announcement that I cannot wait to talk about is something we've been working on for a while that we're going to be bringing for our clients. And yeah, Dirk is already excited about this one. We're also going to talk about the impact of good metadata from our buddy here, Brian, and we have a special guest who's going to come in with you and talk about how that metadata, getting it right, can affect your bottom line as a publisher and definitely as stores. And finally, Metadata 101, our ongoing series of Comics MBA. This is going to be our own Keith Davidsen talking about how to work that into your workflow of creating that good metadata we keep talking about. And, now that we know that it's important, how do you do it in a way that doesn't disrupt everything? Yeah. So you want to?
Yeah, let's get into it. Deals. People got deals. Bleeding Cool does a really good job of tracking these things too. So if you're looking for, deals in your area, check out Bleeding Cool. They usually have a good post about this every year.
And I did see that he was collecting those in his social media this week. But we had a few of you reach out and let us know that you had deals. Our very own Jeremy here in the chat every week, like clockwork. Look at this, 30% off every statue, 50% off Funko Pops, and 30% off almost everything else. And if you've never been in his store, almost everything else is a lot. It is a big store in Dallas. They're on Forest Lane. Do go by because those are some real numbers. This is
Yellowbird Comics. And they're in North Carolina, I think. 15% off almost everything in the store.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's definitely better than you're going to get at say a Walmart or or on Amazon. Oh, I heard today that there's people who are going they're protesting ICE by going into Home Depot on Black Friday, buying one ice scraper for 50 cents, then turning right back around and returning it.
That's evil. They're
just
it.
One line of people going in to buy the scraper and coming back to return the scraper all day long.
That's incredible. And that actually costs them money because you pay 35 cents per transaction plus 2.5%, which you do not get back from
you do not get that back.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm not saying you should do that, but hey, it's something to do on your Black Friday after you go to your local comic shop and buy some comics.
This is my own online store, Earth 519, up here in Canada, and I've started my promotion for it. So I started my promotion on Monday by sending out an email that has a timer in it that says when our Black Friday sale is starting. I've already got the one scheduled to go at midnight on Friday night that says that our Black Friday has started. It's our Blackest Friday. And then on Sunday, there'll be a timer that goes out that says this is ending today. And what I've done, instead of I don't want to devalue my stuff, and I don't like having just blanket sales. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We're so new that I don't want to do that yet. So what I did is, whenever there was a really good sale from one of our distributor partners, I bought a crap load of stuff, and I've held off on that stuff. And I plan on dumping a whole ton of really, really awesome graphic novels and trades at a good discount that would make it, good for me to sell all year round, but also factoring that in that if I add an extra 20%, it's going to be stupid and almost ridiculous for people not to buy that stuff. And it's stuff that I'm still going to make margin on. So yeah, I'm super excited about this. I think we'll see a bunch of stuff. We're also, I think, in December going to offer free gift wrapping for any packages that are ordered. So if people order gifts through us and have it shipped out before December 15th, we're going to do free gift wrapping.
No sweet deal.
No sweet deal. Oh, see, that's better than what I came up with. Mine was so many repetitions of Tuesday.
You got
Thanks,
time.
Blake. I should have reached out to him last night.
Do you have any Black Friday plans for your store? Please do let us know. We want to run them on our socials and here and let everybody know that they really should be coming to your shop instead of going to the big box stores that don't care. Frankly,
exactly.
They don't care.
Exactly.
And all your local comic shops are going to do is use your money and push it back into comics and into those neighborhoods. So yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's keeping three kids off the streets.
That's
if you
right.
Shop with my store. So.
That's a good point. Awesome. Let's jump into some headlines real quick. Comics Pro, the trade organization that comic book retailers are available to. Only brick and mortar, though. Unfortunately, Brian, stay out of there. That's not good.
I'll just
it's not
go
for you.
there as a service provider, I guess, instead, because I'm not allowed to go as a comic store. That's fine.
This is our regular reminder of the folks at Comics Pro. Maybe there should be a qualifier, maybe, for the online stores that allow them to come in, because that's how they're going to grow brick and mortar stores. Maybe.
And
anyway,
and I might say that some of us can teach, the brick and mortar stores a thing or two about online marketing, and maybe, how to improve your website, Django. And, there's stuff that we can. Look, Django and I are actually working on his website right now, and it's just fun because it's like, that's my superpower, and his superpower is retail. And when I open a store, you damn Skippy, I'm going to have Django down here.
That's right. He's going to mock you every time he gets an opportunity.
Are you kidding me? Do you know how much cable we will pull in my store? It will be so cabled. It's going to be the best time of our lives.
Anyway, so they've announced all their sponsorships are open for the annual meeting that's happening in Glendale in February. If you are a publisher and you're listening to this and you want to get in front of comics retailers, it is one of the not miss events on my calendar. Everybody kind of gets together. I will say that this is easily the best thing that Comics Pro does all year, and they do a lot. So this is one of my favorite things. You should definitely, if you're in our industry, please go and please support this worthy event. All right, we talked about this in the
this is crazy.
In the pre-show banter. $9.12 million.
And this was a attic find. Is that what I heard?
That's what my understanding is. Yeah.
Jeez, that's insane.
I know.
That's crazy. Imagine just finding $9.12 million in your attic.
So here's my take on this, and why I definitely wanted us to talk about this. And I think we're going to dig in next week. I thought we were able to cram it in this week, but there's just so much to talk about on metadata. I think this is a good opportunity for a lesson about the value of back issues and the value of buying and selling collectibles. We know of several different stores that we've been talking about how comic shops are having an amazing year this year, but there have been a few stores that are saying, I'm not having that amazing year. And I would say that most of them don't really focus anything on collectibles. They don't spend any of their capital thinking about buying and selling collectibles. And the thing is, when you're buying from your customers and you're selling, you get an opportunity to moderate that markup, right? You get an opportunity to control that markup. Anyway, one of the reasons I want to bring this up this week was because at $9.12 million, people are going to go into their attics. They're going to go into their basements. They're going to pull out collections. They're going to bring them to your shop. I think it is worthwhile to say that you're going to be disappointing some people who think they have $9 million, but they do not. But it is an opportunity for you to build your store, build your inventory, and build your profits at the same time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and like you said, like, it's an opportunity to diversify. We talk about this all the time, right? Diversify your suppliers. There is no better diversification than the public, right? Like, getting out and being part of your community and contributing back into the economy both ways. You can buy and sell, and it's huge.
Exactly. And once again, you're keeping that money in your community. That is, there is very valid reasons to be having this as a part of your business, and we want to make sure that we're hitting that. But man, $9.12 million. I'm just imagining.
You guys are slowly but surely starting to convince me that maybe I would have a small back issue area in my store, like small. Maybe there's value there.
Maybe controlling your markup is a smart idea when you're running a business.
Maybe fine.
This is a fun one. A new distributor is entering the ring. This is Crown Studios. They are doing yes, that's right. Your back issue, Ben's only going to be $9.2 million each. Yeah, that's great.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to draw a line somewhere. Anything else is going to the dollar bin.
That's right.
Yes, so this was our old buddy Corey Cassoni, who I met working at Dark Horse way back when. They started Crown Studios, and they just announced that they are going to be distributing mostly books, but distributing into comic shops. And I think I mean, it's worthy to bring anytime somebody brings this up, because I know that they are trying to do it right. And they're I know Corey knows how comics works and he knows this area, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they bring up. So that was worth bringing around.
Yeah, nice website powered by Shopify. Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. Yeah, Corey, hey buddy, why don't you come on the show if you hear about this? We'd love to have you on. Okay, time for my big announcement. Prana Publishers just got bigger. So this was something we announced here on our channel on this live show. We announced this earlier this year, that we are doing what we call a publisher aggregator. There are other services like Massive Indies and other publishers who occasionally bring in single publishers on a 1 or 2 time basis. We decided that we wanted to use our relationship with Lunar Distribution and now with Universal Distribution to make sure that people who could not otherwise get distributed into comic shops could get that. So we are announcing this week that we're getting with SourcePoint. The first publisher that we announced as part of Prana Publishers we're going to be through not only Lunar, but Universal. And that begins with their first on sale in January. Now that is going up for FOC, I think, in a little over a week. In fact, we're going to be using part of this show next week to talk about that FOC. But what does this mean? It means that Prana Publishers, when you come on with us, we will have your distribution through both of these channels and be looking for more constantly. Because our goal is to really be active partners in the marketing of your books and bringing them to market. So this one was exciting. We're going to be getting a press release later out today, but I wanted to make sure that we use this opportunity to let everybody know. So
you're so much better at keeping secrets than me, because I would have told you about this, but I'm just a better friend than you are. I don't know. Maybe that's all it is.
You know what it is? There's so much going on right now. We're both having a hard time. Every time we get on the phone, we're like, "Oh, did I tell you about this?
Did I forget to tell you this? Oh no, yeah."
Well, yeah.
This is super exciting. Congratulations to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And special thanks to Megan and Keith, who are going to be doing the lion's share of this work. So I appreciate y'all and all the work that you do in making this happen. And a very big thanks to our friends at Universal Distribution, who are going to be into the U.S. Market the first of next year. So if you're a retailer, I would say it's definitely worthwhile getting your account set up, even if you're only going to use it sporadically, because they are good people and they're going to continue to do good things, I think.
And are they coming into the US through Alliance? Is that how they're are they going to do it through the Alliance?
So my understanding is it's still going to be Universal Distribution, but they're using the Alliance warehouses.
Okay.
And so right now they're continuing to use that. Yeah. Right, Jeremy, I agree. They really published some nice comics. So they're going to be using those Alliance warehouses to bring comics in, and because they started off as a gaming distributor, just adding those two things together it just makes a lot of sense, and honestly would have made a lot of sense for the people who owned the Alliance warehouses last time. But
only hopefully they won't just have PDF invoices. Oh, I just shots fired. They won't. Just spoiler alert. I know they don't. Just saying, maybe the other guys did.
Maybe those other guys just had PDF invoices. Yeah. Yeah. So it's exciting to see them enter the field, and then even more exciting to know that we can, help smaller press or independent press move into those catalogs, despite not having the same kind of infrastructure that the larger publishers do. So, yeah. This is what we're doing. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's super cool. Good for you guys.
Thank you. All right, let's get into some metadata. You want to?
Time for me to talk.
Let's go.
If we're going to do this, I'm going to actually pull up my slide deck,
go for it,
Blake, because it's good. And I'm also going to bring in a special guest star, Django Boren from the Comic Shop Assistant, and also my colleague in the comics industry comment standard. Man, that's a mouthful. It's such a mouthful.
Yes,
Always hang up on it.
That is the full name of it.
And someday over drinks, we'll explain to you why it is the comics industry comment standard.
I'm happy to be here as your hype man, Brian. Thank you for having me. Hi, Adam.
Hello, I am Adam. It is so nice to meet you.
Today, we are going to really quickly talk about what is metadata. So, just out of curiosity, Django,
Yes.
you go. What is metadata?
Oh, you're asking me to spoil the next slide, I'll bet. Metadata.
No, just give me an example of metadata. Is a price
issue
metadata?
number. Price is
Okay.
metadata.
Is the current sale price of Superman #1 metadata?
Ooh, it is for somebody, but I don't think that it is for the purposes of the Comet standard.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
So it definitely is metadata, and you would use that in different places, but we're not talking
Category,
about that.
writer, artist, description, cover, even an image can be metadata, right?
Exactly.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that the issue number is metadata?
Yes,
course.
sir. The issue
the
number is
covering?
metadata, as is whether or not you have different material inside of the covers, whether it's on the East Coast or the West Coast. Not that I'm using a specific example. So what is metadata? Metadata is an element that describes a product. It can be the title, the weight, the category, the price, description, and there are literally 105 other things that it can be.
We could probably
So
think of some more.
actually we have a list of all of those things that are live on the comic industry comics standard. Oh, damn it. I'll never get it right.
Cometstandard.com.
Cometstandard.com. Django, what makes metadata good?
Well, I think metadata is most good when it's not bad. And by that, I mean, it should be true and accurate. And even if something strange happens to it, it should probably stay true and accurate.
Yes,
right?
Very much so.
Because
So
our industry is made out of chaos. And I would do a Bane impression right now, but I heard a couple days ago that my Bane impression is terrible. So comics were born in chaos. You're just
so it does have to accurately describe the thing, but the thing changes between the time that the thing is originally solicited, which, like for the book trade, is 6 months to a year beforehand, and the time that the thing comes out. So that data has to be malleable and be able to be updated in our systems. So that's kind of part of what makes it good, is that it's not a specific point in time thing, that it's true, that it reflects the actual things, and that it I do this all the time. Those are so fancy. And then at some point it becomes solidified. So the way we always describe comment metadata is that it starts out really kind of amorphous and fuzzy, and then it gets clearer and clearer, and then by the time it releases, that metadata is like locked in stone, because that is a thing you have in your hand. The distributors don't know what it weighs until it literally comes into the building. So all those things are, fuzzy. They should be solidified by the time the product is released.
Can I give the cover looks like. My favorite metaphor for this is predicting the weather. Yeah. We kind of know, because we understand how these systems work, really what the weather's going to look like a month from now. And we sort of know what it's going to look like next week, but we're so good at it now that within a few days, we can tell you hour by hour what it's going to be. We couldn't tell you hour by hour for a month from now, because it is going to shift until it gets here.
But even then, we don't know until we actually walk outside what the weather really is.
That's true.
Right? And that's kind of comics.
Until it arrives.
You don't know until it's physically in your hand what it really is going to be. Oh, neat. This has got a matte cover. I thought it was getting glossy cover. Well, shoot.
It's often a surprise for us, too.
So what makes the metadata break bad? What makes bad metadata?
Untrue.
Any thoughts? Yeah.
Oh, reuse of UPC codes.
Yeah,
that was
our number one bugaboo.
Or changing UPC codes midstream, right? Like that kind of breaks everything.
Yeah, absolutely. If you UPC codes are so key to everything. And if you release bad data and you say, you know what, this UPC code that I released was wrong because it was I don't know, there was something wrong with it, or I'm canceling this project 3 months in, or 2 months in, or a month before release. That UPC code is dead forever. You cannot reuse it if you've solicited it at any point in the chain.
It's a social
So don't
security
ever
number
do
for the widget that you can hold in your hand.
Exactly. Yeah. Likewise, changing UPC codes, even doing things like, I'm going to throw them under the bus because I've talked to a couple of them. I Hate Fairyland recently started using an old UPC code for an old series and then switched back to the new UPC code for the new series. Because when they relaunched like last year, or maybe earlier this year with number 16, they started using a new UPC code. And then 3 months in, they started using the old UPC code. So you really have to pay
Probably
attention
just
to that kind of stuff.
confusing file names or something in production.
Sure. Yeah.
And you know, metadata can be bad by mistake.
Yep.
Right. It's still bad. It still makes things confusing and harder to sell books, but
For sure.
it's not always I guess like ignorance, or probably almost never malice.
Yeah.
I say almost because there's a marketer in the room.
Oh, so missing key fields, and there are only 4 of them. Title, price, category, and UPC are the most essential. They are basically the primary identifiers of a thing. And that title can change constantly. That's okay. The price can change. That's fine. The category probably shouldn't, but it does occasionally, right? Like a book might suddenly become a
Magazine.
periodical,
Sure.
magazine format. That's okay. UPC or the ISBN, that's your, like Django said, your social insurance number. Don't let that thing change.
The way I describe it to people is that you need to be able to find it with the title, sell it with the price, and tax it with the category.
Exactly.
And if you don't have those, everything starts falling apart when it gets to the retail level.
Yeah. And the UPC code is the thing that ties all that together. So you can change the title, the price, the category. That's fine because you have that centralized UPC code.
Mm-hmm.
Any inaccurate or untrue fields is bad metadata for sure.
Do you remember when one of the publishers released Chip Zdarsky as the writer for every comic that month?
I do actually.
That was a real bummer. We're still finding those.
Yeah, that was so fun, and that's totally just that's a boof. It wasn't actually on purpose for sure.
Yeah.
Also, playing games with the data is not a marketing tool. Data is a source of truth, and just so that don't say anything, Adam. Don't even say what you're thinking. I know you're going to try, but that's not what we are here. So why should retailers care about the metadata, Django? What is important to retailers about metadata?
Well, I think most retailers are overwhelmed by the number of things that we have to order and purchase and sell every single day, and the metadata streamlines it. Whether you use a point of sale system or not, it's a tool for you to know what you're buying and know what you're selling. Without the metadata, you wouldn't know that Peach Momoko drew this cover, and that's a huge selling point, right? So even at the lowest level, you're interacting with the metadata whether you know it or not. And I think a lot of stores that maybe aren't using a point of sale system, or who are using a point of sale system that is taking care of a lot of the metadata for them, can be impacted by bad metadata and not even really know it, because it's such a low level, or I guess a high level basic thing that we all deal with every day.
Yeah, just taxation. Like if you're taxing things wrong, that can impact you hugely down the road. So being aware of that, categorization is really, really important in terms of the taxations that are done. Why should publishers care about metadata, Django?
So we can sell their comics, right?
Oh, we like to sell things.
I know this one. It's so that we can tinker with it to sell more, right?
Wait, could you just cut that clown out? Just like remove him from the stream. We'll talk to him later.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing, right? A good metadata gives you a good baseline for selling things the easiest way. So if publishers are giving us good series codes and good title conventions and things like that, it gives the retailers a lot more tools to boost their orders or to cut their orders. Like overselling to a retailer, that might be good this week, but that retailer is never going to be happy when they look at that stack of 40 copies of something that was not something that they should have ordered, right?
Yeah,
and you're going to
100%.
take a psychological ding next time that series is solicited. I've
And
seen
I
it happen.
think you and I have had these conversations before that there's certain retailers that we just don't, or certain, not retailers, certain, well, there's also those certain publishers that you just can't trust sometimes. And it's because of the fact that their metadata is changing so frequently. You know, it's something as simple as like not having a cover available for FOC. Like, I'm not going to take as big a risk on something as I do when you can actually see what it looks like.
Right.
Especially those like 1 in 25 and 1 in 50s. Like, no way I'm going to stretch for a 1 in 25 or 1 in 50, which I don't normally do. But
unless
if like
there's peach momoko on it.
Well, yeah, if it's a peach momoko, maybe I do stretch a little bit, right? I love me some peach.
Look at Adam smiling over that. He knows the game.
Who is responsible for the metadata?
Well, right this minute, it feels like every individual is responsible for it. And I think that in a more streamlined situation, it would come from the top down. So metadata that is related to the comics themselves, the physical object, should be at the publisher level. Distributors should be in charge of order dates and discounts and metadata that describes their part of it. And then even retailers have their own metadata, right? When I mark up a ratio variant, that price in my store becomes my metadata for that widget that I got from the distributor who got it from the publisher. So it's kind of a cascading thing.
Absolutely. One of the things that we've really debated with the different distributors is who's responsible for things like titles. Because in the past, you know, in the old Diamond ways, Diamond was responsible for maintaining all that stuff because they had to maintain, like, title, for example, couldn't extend more than 25 characters, which I've just recently learned because I'm dealing so much with RMH and finding.
I think in all caps too.
Yeah, I know all caps was just a choice,
system.
and that may have actually been to do with like Diamond's internal systems, because I'm pretty sure there was an AS400 sitting in the back of a warehouse that one guy knew how to program that was running all their data. But yeah, so we've really kind of we've kind of defined in Comet where those data elements should live and how they should be updated. So we're saying like publishers should be maintaining title, because the way that a title is formatted is really something that a publisher should be dictating. Where release dates are from a publisher, but can be overwritten by a distributor based on,
or a retailer even.
That's true too.
If my comics show up on Friday, I might hold them until Wednesday so that they get a full marketing treatment.
100%. Yeah. The FOC is created by a publisher, but is maintained by a distributor because they may have different FOC dates than the, like, really the publisher says, I need these orders by Tuesday, December 4th. And that's not right. December 2nd. But now it's up to the distributor to figure out where before then they're going to get that information. So there are two kind of elements to that, but things like price is actually on the publisher. The distributor chooses discount rates and things like that.
Right.
Your cover image is obviously your publisher, description, publisher, creators, publisher. Although your creators should have a hand in how their name is displayed. And that's where things like ISNI, which is an international naming convention for authors. And if you don't have an ISNI number in your creator, you should get one. It's $25. We want to push people more toward ISNIs in Comet at some point. Series title, publisher name should not be defined by the distributor. It should be defined by the publisher. And the publishers should be able to control those in kind of a central location.
You should see the rat's nest of code I have to deal with the different names of the same publisher that came through Diamond.
Brother, same. And the number of publishers who've changed their names over the years, and their name has changed in the data, and you have to account for that too. Like Lev Gleason, which has 14 different names.
Right.
Which was Chapter House Comics and Chapter House Incorporated and Chapter House. Yeah. Series title, publisher name, format, the type of product that it is for taxation, page count, and the UPC code. Those ones are all publisher level. Distributor codes are obviously at the distributor level.
Can I say one other thing that could be bad metadata? Going back to an earlier slide. We have a lot of things that we're excited to do with creator tags, right? But until we can get Brian Michael Bendis's name with the same organization every time and without a comma in a new hellish place every time.
Bendis, comma, Brian Michael. Bendis,
like
Brian, comma, Michael.
There are a lot of iterations. And until we can be confident that names are being treated the same way, doing things like subscribing someone to every Daniel Warren Johnson cover is just okay at best.
And that's also the data that is the most likely to be incorrect throughout the life cycle of the product. Like creator names are often wrong even at the time of publication.
See Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. So if you want to get involved with the Comet Standard, come join the Comet Standard and help build the standard that powers the comics industry. Go to cometstandard.com, scroll to the bottom page, and you'll see this little form. Fill that out, and you'll join our mailing list. And we solicit that mailing list in order to get more people to help us do cool stuff. So if you're passionate about this in any way, let us know.
I'm guessing that a lot of the people who are watching this know this, but this is the Comet Standard, something that we've been working on for 2.5 or 3 years. And we have a pretty good foothold in the distributors and publishers using it and pushing out files to be used and things like that. I think we're right on the precipice of even bigger buy-in. So
yeah, for sure.
It could save us so much money and time.
Yeah. Beyond saving money and time, can you both talk a little bit, maybe Brian, if you want to bring up some examples of how good metadata is going to actually increase sales, right? Because right now we've heard a lot about it making retailers' lives easier, and that's 100% a great idea. And we've talked a lot about how, it could help you with the subscriptions and that sort of thing. But where can you maybe even show us, Brian? I know that you're good at running these things in the background. How like something like your new preview site, or how the POS systems themselves can actually sell more as a result of the good data.
Yeah, for sure. So like Django has been saying, like subscription is one of the key kind of ways that we are able to show people that, show publishers specifically that good metadata kind of ties things together. Because if we have a subscription for, let's say, Venom, all right, you've got a subscription to Venom, and now you go ahead and for whatever reason, Marvel decides that it's now going to be Venom 250. As of issue 23, it's Venom 250. So all the metadata changes because they actually, for some reason, will start at a number 1. If we had an element called parent series, we could actually just quickly, we do. We could quickly subscribe all those people that were on Venom 23 to Venom 250.
So not only do you get the people who were already subscribed just carried over in a smooth way, you also get that bump of an anniversary issue or a number 1 issue. But you don't have to worry about somebody accidentally getting unsubscribed from it because technically it's a new series.
One that we're facing right now is Absolute Wonder Woman number 15 is a crossover of Absolute Batman. in my store, my absolute Wonder Woman numbers are half of what my absolute Batman numbers are. So being able to cross subscribe those people to that other series, and if they're, I don't know that we've even defined a metadata. Yeah, crossover. We have a crossover element. So if that crossover element is defined, then you can subscribe all those people. And literally, I would double my absolute Wonder Woman numbers. I'm going to guess double those numbers and hope that I can sell them all. But it'd be a lot easier if I could actually kind of force the issue and add that stuff to our customers. By the way, I've been auto subscribing to people this stuff for a year, and I've only gotten raves about it. There's 5 people who don't like it, and I literally in my system have a do not clone button. So I can say, don't clone those people into other things. They'll manage on their own. I'm making money I wouldn't have made otherwise because I'm bringing those people across to other things.
And I think if you like, it gives retailers a lot more sales tools. It gives publishers a lot more sales tools. It makes it easier for us to send out mailing lists that are drilled down to specific customers' tastes, right? Like if we can say this person always buys Daniel Warren Johnson insides, but he prefers Jim Lee covers on them, we can make those associations and automate some sales pitches digitally, right? Yeah. But then, to go back to the first thing you said, Adam, the saving retailers time, that is selling more comics, because 100%. I think that as a group, if we're not sitting behind the computer pissed off at a publisher or a distributor, we're out there selling more comics. Our sales go up 20% if I'm on the floor. And like, I have a great team, they sell stuff well, but if I'm stuck grumbling at the metadata that we need in order to run our business, I'm not on the floor selling books. And so there's, I can't draw you a single straight line for that, but saving time at the point that people are selling things is selling more stuff for you.
You know how much I love both of you, and I know how much, I feel like it's mostly reciprocal, but every time you say this, I think about this from a publisher standpoint. We all have limited bandwidth. We all have to spend that bandwidth somewhere. And what you're saying to me is, as 2 service providers, well, if you would make my life easier, I would make their life easier.
Right? Sure. Also, you are at the top of the pyramid, right? Yeah. So if you distribute solid metadata, not only does it go to us and Comic Hub, which is that's 700-800 stores, it also goes out to the other 1200 to 1700 stores. Yeah. Right. So it's not just these service providers, it's everybody who's buying stuff. So like your 5 minutes can save 2,500 people 5 minutes.
Yeah. And if Django and I fix something, we fix it for the industry. We don't fix it for just us. So like when we're doing stuff on behalf of Comet and we solve a problem, that's the entire industry that's benefiting from that. And that's how we give back to the industry, is by making things better for everyone.
But even that means that we have to send it up, and somebody at the distributor has to review it, 100%. Correct it, send it up to the publisher, and then push it back down to everybody. And not everybody gets that re-push at that point.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks, Django. I did sit on my hands because many times, part of my job as a marketer is to understand how the system works so that maybe I can break it and sell a few more copies. And I understand that that's often makes it difficult. But
occasionally, though, that bites you in the ass. I don't know. I've seen it.
It's occasionally a problem. We have 2 printings that go out at the same time. All right. Anyway, I think Django, if you stick around, I think we actually have a reveal for at the end when we're going to talk about the bullet. So
awesome.
If you want to stick around, we'll grab you for that.
Stick around. No hard out here.
That's right. We don't all have meetings. All right. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Awesome. So now that we've heard about the why and how things can go wrong, let's talk about somebody who is a legit expert in the how. So we talk a lot. The Comics MBA is a series that we've created to bring the mechanics of comics and how to build a career or business here in comics. And we have a legit expert on the direct market, a man who works for us here at Prana Direct Market Solutions, Keith Davidsen. He has been at He was at Diamond. He's been at nearly every publisher in the catalog, including IDW and Dynamite and Mad Cave. 25 years in our industry, and has no sign of stopping. I am so excited to bring to the stage. Oh, I did it. You did it. We all did it. Keith, hey, buddy.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Now, I know you have a
another bald
presentation. I know
gentleman.
that there's probably going to be some overlap, but we definitely wanted to make sure that yours felt like it was a unit so that we can, distribute it later. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you brought together. And
Sure.
then
Yeah.
drop you right into the deep end so that we don't miss Brian's heart out. Okay.
Okay.
Hard out.
Sounds good.
It's hard.
I'll let you have the stage.
All right. So we'll bring up that first slide. All right. Well, welcome to the Comics MBA Micro Lesson Metadata 101. I'm Keith Davidsen. My experience in the comic industry goes back 25 years. I have worked at IDW Publishing. I've worked at Dynamite Entertainment. I've also worked at Diamond Comic Distributors. So between my work at 5 different publishers and at Diamond Comic Distributors, I have personally handled thousands and thousands of solicitations. So I feel like solicitations is something that is at the core of the comics business. All distributors, whether it be Lunar, Penguin Random House, Universal, etc., they all require solicitation information to be presented in some kind of metadata format that gets imported into their systems. That could be it could be uploading it as part of a spreadsheet. It could be put it into an online system and filling out different fields. It can actually just be text depending on the distributor. So every distributor has different needs. There are some standards, and so I'm going to cover some of them here. This is what I hope to be a kind of like a good instructional for publishers, especially, but it's a good way to understand the whole process from the distributor all the way actually to the consumer and how solicitation metadata fits in. I'm going to err a little bit on the side of Lunar details as I talk, because Lunar does have a pretty comprehensive metadata spreadsheet that has lots of different fields to fill in. But again, you'll want to work with your distributor. If you're a publisher, you'll want to work with your distributor to make sure that you are giving them exactly what they need. Okay, so first up, make sure I'm in the right place. Yes, what is metadata used for? Okay, so the promise, you're making a promise with metadata. You're making a promise to the distributor, to the retailers, and to the fans of exactly what product you are offering and what the product is that you will deliver. How distributors use that data. For the distributor, metadata allows them to set up your product in their systems for retailers to order, for their warehouse operations to receive and ship your products correctly, and ultimately for you to get paid. Retailers use the data to familiarize themselves with your book, to gauge its sales potential, to set the pricing, to import the data into their own POS systems, and to know deadlines for placing orders. And fans even get to use the data to a certain extent as well. Product descriptions and other details trickle down to them from the distributors, from retailers, and even the media, who sometimes get access to all solicitation data and post it on different popular comic websites. Most of the distributors use spreadsheets to wrangle their metadata. And you should always be aware when you work with your distributor what their deadlines are for submitting that metadata to them. There are opportunities where you might be able to miss a deadline and still get it in. It does possibly impact your ability to sell, or like to sell as best as you can, or to get the best sales numbers. Okay, moving on. So let's talk about the individual, like, naming constructs for product names. There are we're going to be talking about comic books. and trade paperbacks or graphic novels or hardcover collections of comics. In the examples that we have here, and hopefully you can see it, I know it's written a little small, but for comic books, there's two made-up comic books here: Underwater Flame Guy and Goblin Tyrant. And you can see that Goblin Tyrant has a ton of detail added to it, which tells you something that it's different to Underwater Flame Guy number 7. If you look at Underwater Flame Guy number 7, it doesn't indicate of 8 or of 10. So this would imply that Underwater Flame Guy is an ongoing series. It doesn't specify a cover type, like a cover A or cover B or cover C. So this is probably the only listing for the comic book that there is. There's not going to be a variant cover. It's just a straight up one cover comic book series that's ongoing. There's no delineation on what kind of age group it's dedicated towards. Being that for metadata, we only really focus in the naming convention of the title on mature readers or not mature readers. As you can see in the examples for Goblin Tyrants, there's an MR in brackets that would indicate mature readers. So Underwater Flame Guy is a very basic listing. But there's plenty of publishers who want to have or whose businesses rely on a variant cover business with lots of different options. You should know that when you're entering metadata, you want to make sure that every single product gets its own line. You're never offering more than one variant cover on a line, especially when you're dealing with spreadsheets. Every line is unique to an individual item or SKU that you are offering. Always write your titles in all caps. If the actual, legal title of a book is The Underwater Flame Guy, drop the from your product title. We don't use a or the to start off product titles. It's easier that way for alphabetizing and for retailers and fans to find your products. Avoid special characters. The only special characters that you should use are the number symbol, parentheses, and colons. Don't use periods, don't use hyphens, don't use ampersands, etc. Like I said, you should have a mini-series limitation if you are using a mini-series in brackets. Let's say of 6 or of 5 or of 4. You should always specify, if you have a cover variant, who the cover variant artist is going to be. That is a really big sales tool or selling point for retailers. So you want to make sure that you use the full name of that particular cover artist. And you want to make sure that you spell their name right. That is so important. There's a lot of people who might be searching by a certain creator. And if you spell it wrong, then people won't be able to find the product. You also want to do a call out in some fashion for special variant covers that are, perhaps wraparound covers or foil covers, or they may have a certain theme to them where it's like a solo character that you're doing month to month. You'll always have a solo character in one corner or standing up. If you have something special about the cover that makes it unique and stand out, as opposed to a very open kind of interpretation of what of artwork that could be here on a cover. If there's something stand out about the cover type, you want to call that out in the product's title as well. For instance, wrap, WRAP, could just be put in the title just to indicate that it's a wraparound comic cover. For graphic novels, the standardization typically has TP for trade paperback, HC for hardcover, and you'll want to make sure that when you write, if it's a multiple volume series, you want to make sure that you do not put a period after your abbreviation for volume VOL. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. So let's talk about creators. This is very important. Creators in the comic book industry are so very important to everyone as far as selling points. I mean, they're very often as much of a draw, if not more so, than the actual characters being illustrated in the comics sometimes. When it comes to metadata, distributors really only focus on writers, artists, and cover artists. Again, you want to make sure that when you write or when you enter in the names for these various creators, you want to make sure that it's spelled correctly. There is a limitation on how many you might be able to enter. That's always dependent on a distributor. In the case of Lunar, they allow you to put 4 creators in a certain field. So if you did an anthology book with a number of creators, you can put up to 4. If you have more writers on that anthology book than just the 4, my advice to you would be to just focus on the 4 that are most sellable, most marketable, have the biggest name presence. But that's not a necessary thing for you. You may feel that it's more, it's maybe unfair to the other creators who are contributing to the anthology. So you might just want to write various in that field, and that's fine. But I would say, for the sake of marketability, perhaps select the most desirable or the highest profile 4 creators that you can. As we know, comics is a team effort. It takes a lot more than just the writer, the artist, and the cover artist to put together a book. Inkers and letterers and colorists and editors and any number of other contributors are just as valuable to the creation of a comic book. And we value those people. In the terms of metadata, again, they only focus on writers, artists, cover artists, but you can work around that. There's a way that if you want to give a nod to the creators, all the creators who work on a book, you could always add their names to your product description, which I'll get to in a second. So, okay, let's talk about the financial aspects. Most financials are worked out with your distributor in advance. Metadata is not really a place where you are negotiating the price and what your cut is going to be made with a distributor. When you originally line up your business with a distributor, when you become a supplier for them, they'll work it out. But there are instances where you may have some exceptions. When you are providing your metadata for your products, you want to put the retail price in US dollars. Do not use the dollar symbol. It's okay to use a period, but not the dollar symbol. So example for a comic might be $4.99. When it comes to communicating the exceptions to the rule on pricing, you'll want to do that in the order form, or I should say in the order form notes field of however you're communicating your metadata to the distributors. Some examples could include if you wanted to offer a certain item with qualifying criteria, which is what we call an incentive. You'll want to communicate to the distributor that perhaps in order for a retailer to qualify to get a certain variant cover, they need to purchase 10 copies of another cover variant. That creates a sense of collectability with the incentive variant, and so you would want to specify that in the order form notes field of the metadata, and also in the actual title of the product itself. As you can see here on the slide, Goblin Tyrant #4, cover C, incentive 1 in 10, Tracy Flair variants. It's all made up. This is a made up product, but it's an example of how you would denote a retailer incentive variant. A net cost item. There's times when you might have a limited variant cover or some other kind of product where you want to dictate the terms on what it would sell to for the retailer, but you're giving them the freedom to set the price. Perhaps you have a very limited, it could actually be a limited comic which has like could be signed by an artist, and they can say 1 out of 20 or 1 out of 200 or whatever. In that case, you want to give retailers the freedom to set pricing. So in those cases, you would put a net in brackets in the title, and you communicate to your distributor in the order form notes column what the pricing is, the pricing structure that you would like to offer to the retailers. Other financials that you could factor in at the time of solicitation, at the time of metadata, you could offer to retailers a deeper discount. That's especially desirable when we're dealing with an issue number one, just to make sure that retailers get in at the ground floor of a project. There's also the ability to offer products with a returnable basis through distributors. That's something you could look into when you're talking one-on-one with distributors, but it is an option that's available to you. Okay, next slide. Yeah, so let's talk about the product descriptions. Product descriptions are your opportunity to really market your book. This is your opportunity to be creative, and I would encourage you to be sensational in how you convey your product. It's got to be truthful, but it can be sensational. If you're writing a product description, I'd recommend that you stay within a 50 to 100 word limits. That's not a hard rule. You can adjust that. Some people find, especially for a trade paperback, graphic novel, or a first issue, they might want to write a little bit more to give a little more context to what they're offering. But I would say generally keep it 50 to 100 issues, especially if you're getting a little long in the tooth on the series. If you're at issue number 5 or 6, you don't necessarily need a huge amount of text. You can condense it a little bit, make it very concise. I would encourage you to always lead with the most powerful statement, your biggest selling points. And I would also encourage you not to reveal spoilers. This is a public-facing bit of information that you're sharing. So you don't want to spoil a particular character's death, even though it might like in the story, even if that might be a selling point for you. But you can say something like, "This is it, the death of a team member that everyone will be talking about." And that's sensational. It's going to draw attention to it, but it doesn't actually give away too much of the spoiler. And hopefully it'll help increase your sales. But there's also other opportunities if you want to bolster your product's description. You can put your entire creative team there, include your letterers and your inkers and your colorists, give them the credit that they may be due. You might want to reference some creator's prior works. From the creator of this, check out Goblin Tyrant, or include other selling points. Yeah, let's move on to our next slide. Sell in and sell through. Okay, so this all has to do with dates. The first date you should try and figure out is the in-store date for your product. It's always going to be a Wednesday. New Comic Shop Day New Comics Day is always Wednesdays in our industry. But if you can earmark your in-store date for your product, then you will work backwards to figure out what your FOC date is. Now, your FOC deadline is the date that you're setting for retailers to lock in their orders on your title. Typically, that deadline is set, and the very next day is when you will get your numbers from your distributor on what you should be stocking them with to make sure that they're filling orders. There are a number of factors in how you distinguish the time between the final order cutoff for retailers and the in-store date. It's usually about a month, but you need to figure out how long it's going to take for your book to print. Usually you would probably wait for the FOC numbers to dictate to the printer what the printing quantity will be. Then it has to go through printing, and it needs to ship from the printer to the distributor. Then the distributor needs to receive it and needs to turn it around so that it arrives into retailer stores. That could take weeks. I know, for instance, Lunar takes about 14 days between the date that they receive your product and the date that it's in stores. And that's just on the distributor side. There's also going to be the printing side and the shipping side. So You have to factor in all those things in order to figure out the distance between the FOC and the in-store date. Also, another thing to remember as we are heading into Thanksgiving and to the holiday season, holidays impact schedules very frequently as well. So be sure that you are communicating with your distributor to know how their schedules are going to, and also the printers, how their schedules are going to affect your ability to deliver. While we're talking about dates, two other key deadlines to pay attention to are the deadlines for submitting your solicitation metadata, of course, and also it's good to know when the distributor will go live with your solicitation, because that's your opportunity to really start marketing your book out into the marketplace, so that you're building excitement with the fans, that fans will go to the retailers and place pre-orders. Okay, next slide. So scanning. This is where we get into the digits. Comic books require a UPC code. All of our distributors at this point require that UPC codes appear on comics. And for books, for trade paperbacks, graphic novels, hardcovers, you'd want to have ISBN and EAN codes. So UPC codes are usually 12 digits with 5-digit extra string of numbers. The 5-digit strings kind of signify special things about the cover variants that you're offering. I provided some examples here on the slide. You can see those 5-digit strings, 01011. In that case, it would indicate issue number 1, a cover A. The cover B, at the next line down, you can see the only number that changes is the 1 to the 2, the second to last place. So that's where we typically show off where cover variants change. If you want to have a second printing, if you want to go back to print, you would typically just change the last digit in that string. So in the example here, it goes from 1 to 2 in issue number 1, second printing. And then I just provided an example of what an issue 24 might look like. You can see the first 2 digits signify 24. So the first 2 digits are usually the issue number, and then the last 3 digits kind of indicate cover variant or printing. Whenever you're entering in this kind of information, you don't want to use hyphens. It's just the number. Just put them into the fields. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is everything else. I'll go through this really quickly. Color formats. There's full color, black and white. Spot color would be usually if you have black, white, and maybe one other color. And PC partial color, that would indicate if you have, like, if the first half of the book is black and white and the second half is color, that would be how you distinguish it. Product type, that is a holdover from Diamond days. I believe there were 16 types of data, or 16 types of product types that they had at the time. 1 was listed as comics, 3 was listed as graphic novels, and they used to have magazines and trading cards and other product types. But for our purposes, we'll only be talking about comics and graphic novels. Version refers to the cover type, whether it be soft cover or hard cover. This also applies to comics. We identify comics as generally having soft cover. I know it makes you think of books more often than comics, but it applies. Binding code, SS for Staddle Stitch, which is comics, or PB for perfect bound, square bound books, typically trade paperbacks, graphic novels. Page counts, interior pages only, does not include covers. Your interiors are 32 pages and you got obviously 4 covers. It's just a 32-page book. Trim size is measured in width and height in inches. Age range is, there's no hard and fast rule. Consider mature to be 18 and older as like your rated R type books for very coarse language, maybe sexual situations, very violent situations, those types of things. But otherwise, figure out the age range as you feel it feels best. There's a lot of overlap here, as you can see. teen and teen plus and young adults, middle grade, they all are kind of in the same range. So it's up to you. But those are options to you. And also with metadata, you'll obviously want to fill in printer name and publisher name. Carton count tends to be an optional thing because at the time that you're soliciting, you might not know what the carton count is, but you might actually know. There might be an opportunity that the printer would be able to tell you. So, all right, next slide. Okay, so this is the last slide. The last thing I would encourage you to do as a publisher who's putting together solicitations and metadata is to remember the promise. Again, metadata is a promise to the distributor, to the retailers, and to the fans that's what the exact product is that you're offering and what the product is that you will deliver. It's okay if things change during the process. Changes happen. Maybe there was an error in the original metadata that you provided, or maybe a writer was overburdened and had to drop out and you had to swap in a different writer, or maybe the development just took longer than you anticipated and you have to shift back dates. There's all number of things that can change as a product is being developed, and it's fine. You can communicate those things to your distributor. It's all good. The only thing is that you want to make sure that you communicate all changes to your distributor the week prior to FOC. You don't want to break the promise to the retailers and to the distributor on what you're offering. So, for instance, you don't want to have some A-list artist as your cover artist, and then something falls through and you swap out a different artist, and then you don't communicate that to the retailers. Because that would be breaking your promise. And if you did that, you may have to deal with a penalty, like those books may have to be returned, because a lot of those retailers are going to be basing the sellability of your products based on key bits of information like that. Yeah, that's my overall metadata 101 micro lesson for Comics MBA. Glad to be able to share that with you.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
I think a little long. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it was excellent. Do you know the answer to this question? We actually bring Django back in. Do you know when metadata for comics began? Would have to. I mean, my guess would be when we first started seeing POS systems, right, back in the 90s. I'm going to bring Django in and see if he knows. Do you know the answer to this question?
I mean, I think the first comic had metadata. It just wasn't in a spreadsheet because it was 1920 whatever, 1932 or like
a catalog.
Yeah, like.
But I mean, even as long as there have been catalogs, as long as there have been distributors selling to the direct market, metadata has existed. It just may not have been as automated in a computer system, but certainly in the late 80s and early 90s, I came across catalogs, and that's metadata.
Yeah. I think the problems with metadata are highlighted just with how everything is so digital now.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's the real. It's more noticeable when it's bad than it was when everything was on paper.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let's focus on the positive. Also, much more noticeable when it's good.
No, you should never even notice it if it's good. It should be the least rewarding thing you've ever done. It should just work.
Thank you, Keith. Appreciate your work. And I think next week we're going to have you back to talk about some FOCs. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. All right. Let's get into our last couple slides. We just want to make sure that we're hitting this. The reason I kept Django around, and now that Brian is gone.
Do you want me to pretend I'm Canadian?
Would you?
No.
You say a lot of oots and
all right.
Pretend to be a tough guy. That'd be great.
Sure. It's my favorite thing to do.
A couple of last things. The Prana Bullet is a newsletter that we put out once a week. We deal with we essentially bring you all of the big highlights, all the big news stories of the week. Because of our partnership with Brian here, as of this week, we're going to be able to start bringing you sales data. That's right. The actual books that are selling in actual stores in comic shops every week. So subscribe to the Prana Bullet. Go to pranadm.com. Fill out the little hit that QR code. That'll take you straight there, or enter pranadm.com that's in the chat. and we will get you. You got it?
I got
All right,
it. It
good.
works.
Excellent. Awesome. We'll get you the very next one. Sales data. Everybody wants it.
Yeah.
Once a week, we're starting to bring it. It's going to be fun.
Fascinating.
I know. Hey, pretend to be Brian and tell everybody to go to Manage Comics.
Oh, jeez, this was a trap. Everybody check out Manage Comics at managecomics.com. Brian is a great service provider, software developer. He would like me to stress, I would like me to stress, since I'm Brian, that I am not a point of sale. I am a plugin for Shopify. Honestly, I think he shouldn't say that. I think you can lump it all in together.
I was about to say it works along with a lot of other POS systems, but it doesn't work with yours. Tell us about yours real quick.
Oh, mine is Comic Shop Assistant, and it is kind of a one program to run your comic store, built from behind the scenes out towards the customers. Saves you time, saves you money.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about how to make more cash if you're a comic shop, how to make sure that you're running a profitable business by, we talked about this quite a bit in the pre-show banter and even the pre-show banter before we hit record, about how it is crucial for many stores to be buying collections so that they can do that work of turning them back around and getting them to collectors that want them. We're also going to be talking, Keith is going to be here and talking about London After Midnight. We're coming up on our first final order cutoff for Source Point, and that's going to be coming up. It's going to be the last little bit of data you need to make those decisions. All right, let's get rid of that. Thanks for being here, Django.
Thank you. I realized that it looks more every day like I have a Britney Spears microphone on, thanks to my white beard. So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to study my face on this.
Isn't that the best part? I don't know if anybody quite caught. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Thank you, all of you. Thank you if you're a comics fan for being here every week and watching us be really nerdy about nerdy stuff that keeps our industry going. But thank you for buying comics at comic shops. If you're working in a comic shop and if you own a comic shop, thank you for continuing to sell the stuff that we make. If you make stuff, if you're a creator, if you're a publisher, thank you. We got to push stuff through the system to keep Django and his friends all in business. And finally, if you're a distributor, thank you for making sure that we are all able to do all of this. I cannot stress enough that everybody in the chain is saving comics every week. And once again, we did it, y'all. We had another week of comics.
Moving parts.
That's right. All right. Namaste, y'all. And Brian, I hope you enjoy the meeting that you had to run out to because it's very important.
Am I Brian?